Scene 94, take 1.
My name is Annie Freeman, and I was born in Wildomar, California. I first came to downtown Los Angeles when I used to do bridal gown modeling at the age of 16. But I really came more into downtown when I went to USC for college. What brought me to the Arts District the first time around was a play that I produced. We took over a warehouse down on Santa Fe, and for 3 months we just turned that warehouse into our production of Alice in Wonderland. I just thought it was such a cool area, and we loved hanging out here, this bunch of group of just out of college kids doing theater. When I met my then boyfriend, now husband, Steven, he wanted to set up a theater. And I said, well, let's go check out the Arts District. So one night we were having dinner at Worstkouche, and we're like walking around, and we saw the for rent sign. The wall was covered in graffiti posters. In my book, it looked insane. And we were thinking of having the theater also double as a yoga studio. The words out of my mouth were, there is no way I could ever run a yoga studio in a place like that. After another place that we'd been looking at fell through, we decided, well, let's take a second peek around to that place near Worstkouche and let's just peek inside. It had been vacant for a while, but the amazing thing that caught our eye was the 3 separate rooms, which could allow us to have a separate studio space, a separate theater space, and even a nice lobby for us to welcome people into. And the wonderful exposed brick. We'd started work on it, and we'd be here every night working, painting, assembling. He did all the electrical things, and people walking by who would peek in and be like, hey, what are you guys doing to Al's Bar? Or, I remember when this used to be Al's Bar. When they'd go, oh, I remember when I was totally shit-faced over here. Or, I remember the pool table over there. And through everybody's stories, I could get this image in my mind of what it was like. We kept the stage here, so people come in and be like, oh yeah, that's where the bands used to play. And I would always be like, yeah, that's where I'm going to be teaching yoga classes. Every time it creaks and groans, I go, well, it's got a lot of history behind it. The idea behind yoga is all about creating a connection between breath, body, mind, and spirit. And so I try to incorporate a little bit of all 4 into every single class that I teach. And the wonderful thing about teaching here in this place is how much of a community it is. The students who come to me have built relationships. Probably 90% of my students live within this Arts District community. My first student, Raymond Newton, was a former patron of Al's Bar, and he came to me just a couple days after the new year of 2012. And he had made it his resolution that year to live a healthier lifestyle. He laid it out kind of blatantly to me. He was here at Al's Bar's day, and he said, that's where I put on all my weight, and now I'm taking it all off, still at the same place, here at Al's Bar. One of my other regular students, Colette Miller, used to be a patron of Al's Bar as well. They just embody such this artistic sense of the community. For me, is creating a yoga sequence is almost like painting a picture or creating a film, that you can take it from the beginning all the way to the end and watch it peak and build and crescendo and decrescendo. And I love doing that. We're just carrying on this artistic background that this place here has always had. It's got such a background in artistry and music, and we're just taking it to a different side with the yoga. The wonderful thing about yoga is that it's not a quick fix. We as human beings tend to want it now. We want it here. We want to lose weight like this, or we want to get high and we want to get drunk. And yoga teaches us to see the beauty in an ongoing journey. Some of my students have come from a past of their association with Al's Bar or drugs, alcohol, whatever it may be. And they come in here and they develop a sense of healing. I've had students come to me and they'll let me know sometimes when they're feeling a little down or when they've been feeling a little bit plagued by past addictions. And just to know that in some way I'm able to be a positive change in their lives. That's what fuels my healing as a person and my spiritual growth. One of the most valuable things that I can give back to my students is enjoy where you're at right now and the progression that you make day by day. The one thing that has taught me even more so than yoga how to do that is having a child. It really teaches you the importance of staying connected and staying focused in this one moment, in this present space, and just taking in the beauty. When I came to the Arts District, came to know the Arts District even before Stephen and I took over this space, there wasn't a whole lot around. I know there was a Worst Couche that had actually, I think, just recently opened up. And then Cafe Metropole, which is now Eat, Drink, Americano, just around the corner. And now it seems like there's something new all the time. The biggest changes obviously have been in the amount of people and the amount of businesses that I've seen grown up here. It has become a destination spot. I picked up a Sunset magazine a couple weeks ago. It was an article on newest hot spots to go visit and to go hang out and to eat good food and experience good nightlife. And it listed the Arts District. And I was going, wow, I mean, this place that Stephen and I were just like, well, let's try it out. There's a strong community here, and I love that. I love the people who have lived here for years and call this their home. And there's a younger crowd that's coming into it, and I kind of like that balance a lot. You never want the Arts District to lose that sense of community. That will be its challenge, is to not grow so much that it loses its sense of community. But I think that the people who hold this community and are at its very core are strong enough to keep it intact. This is actually my most favorite place these days, to be alone. I'm not a ghost kind of person, but there's a presence here. There's a spirit here. There is the energetic sensation behind this entire building. You can feel its past. When you're here, you feel its history. You feel the artistic background of it and why we strive to continue that artistry in the way that we can in the creation of theater and the creation of yoga.
So, that's the our silent walks. It's where my cause.
I love being here entirely alone, practicing yoga, meditating, and I can just take in this building, the history that the building has, and the history of its people. I cannot even describe how wonderful it is to me to have people who knew it as Al's Bar and are now taking yoga from me, and just to see them on this stage of their journey. This is where I was at in my life, and now this is what I've grown up to become. And I get to be that presence now in here in this space and add to its history. There's something amazing about that. I will always love old buildings for that reason, and this one in particular. There's a definite reason why Stephen and I ended up here, and I think it is that reason to carry on the history of this building.
Cut.